They
need
need
it.
their buddies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's their avenue to get there, right?
Totally.
As they get older, they have other ways to interact. So
Yeah.
it's all good. Good morning, Facebook world. We're not live on the radio, but we are live on Facebook. Good morning. Good morning. We're talking about the last day of school. I know. Oh, that's so funny that it does that now.
Oh,
It didn't used to do that when you do the Facebook Live. It didn't used to play the audio, and now it does. So there's like that weird feedback. But now we're good. Yay. I know it is. It's the end of the school year. So happy. So actually tomorrow is officially the last day of school, but it's that remote learning day. So really today's the last day of school. They've turned in all their computers. So it's not like they're doing anything.
Throwing it back. Take it.
I know.
I don't want it.
Well, Gary asked Ryan this morning, right? Because he's finishing 8th grade. So he's like graduating, right? He's going off to
Going to the
9th
big
grade.
house.
I know. Gary's like, did you empty out your locker and throw out your papers? He's like, we don't have lockers anymore.
Yeah, right. I think when I moved from Alaska from 7th to 8th grade, like I had a large locker in Alaska.
Right.
Moved down here, there were the shorty lockers. I'm like, where am
Yeah.
I supposed to put everything in there? And then
I know.
my first month of school here in the Washington State, I just used a book bag. I just had a backpack.
Yeah.
Didn't even bother going there anymore.
I know. That and your 85 pounds of books they lug around on their back these days. Oh, well, they're super strong.
All right, here we go. Stand by.
All right, let's go.
Its management or other advertisers. This program is sponsored by Nicole Mangina of Windermere Real Estate.
And this is my time.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 425 show. I'm your host, Nicole Mangina with Windermere Real Estate. It is the last day of school today. If you are in the Lake Washington School District, woo, woo, so ready for summer vacation. I think for my high schooler, it's going to look a lot like the school year because, he's just going to stay in bed for a couple hours. But this time minus a computer. There you go. That's keeping it real. But it is officially summer vacation and the sun's coming out. Real estate update for the day. May statistics are out. Prices are up 37% from last May. Exactly. It's nuts. Crazy pants. So 37%. Good news, though, we are starting to finally get more inventory. I know it might not feel that way when you go to search for homes because there's not a lot. They're just selling super fast. But the good news is more is coming. I would expect this weekend and next weekend to be pretty solid in terms of new listings coming on the market, because the weekend after that, the third weekend, is 4th of July. So this weekend, next weekend, make sure you got yourself ready to go. If you are as a buyer, as a seller, just make sure you're working with your agent on your timing so that you don't kind of miss the weekend. I really do think if you come on the market 4th of July, you are likely to miss a substantial amount of inventory or a substantial amount of buyers because they're all going to be off celebrating the fact that they got their vaccinations and we can now actually get together with people again. So there you go. Real estate update for the week. If you have questions, by all means, reach out. I invite you to email me, nicole@nicolemangina.com. And there you go. Without further ado, I am excited for our guest today. We have Stephanie Lentz, the owner of Scoop Market in Kirkland, joining us today. Good morning, Stephanie. How are you?
Good morning, Nicole. I'm good. I've been really looking forward to this, so I'm glad we finally get to talk.
Absolutely. I'm excited about this. First of all, it's in Kirkland. I live in Kirkland, so that's awesome. I can come visit and shop at Scoop, but such an amazing concept that I'm excited to share with everybody. I would love to hear from you because you will certainly describe it better than I can. What Scoop is about.
Absolutely. So Scoop Marketplace is a zero waste grocery store where customers bring in reusable containers to purchase as much or as little as they want or need of our package-free food, home goods, and personal care products. So we are eliminating the need for disposable packaging and keeping those reusable containers in the cycle so that we can use them over and over again.
I love it. I think this is great on so many levels. And super timely as we come, I don't know if we're out of COVID, but we're definitely in a different phase. And, for the longest time, I always took my bags to the grocery store, and then you couldn't, right? It just was not an option. And now, and I know we're talking about way more than just grocery bags on this, but I think it's a good reminder of the waste that we produce on a daily basis. But even just the simple act of going to the grocery store, I have to admit, now that we're allowed to bring our bags again, I'm having to constantly remind myself to get back into that habit of doing it, because it does break my heart to come home and I've got all these bags that are perfectly good, and off they go to the recycle. So what sparked you to do this? What's your passion behind zero waste and all of this?
Oh, well, it's kind of a long story that snowballed from one thing to the next, but our journey started with a change in our diet. We had a period of unemployment where we were watching a lot of documentaries, and we decided to switch to a plant-based diet. And then that just kind of sparked this period of research and learning. And I got to learning about microplastics and plastic pollution. And that was really terrifying for me, just reading that, microplastics have been discovered in the air at the top of Everest and in the deepest parts of the ocean that they can reach. There's little bits of plastic all over the place. And I just felt like, oh my gosh, this feels really hopeless. I don't know what I can do to fix this, but I'm pretty sure that if I tried, I could stop contributing to it. So that was when we started making changes in our household, just changing our daily habits and our routines and doing our best to eliminate the disposable things that we were bringing into our home, and just generally being conscious consumers, especially in the US, we have a habit of just buying more stuff all the time. And if something breaks, we throw it away. Where is away? It's big holes in the ground that we store our trash forever and ever and ever. We throw it away and we buy a new one. So just really trying to think through that process. And when I'm picking something up at the store, thinking about, okay, what does the end of life look like for this thing? What happens to it? And does its time spent in my home and serving me justify its space that it's going to take up in the landfill later, if that's the case? So over time, after we had changed our habits and we were kind of making adjustments for our family, I was just frustrated that it was still so hard to go to the grocery store and not come home with trash. So basically I was complaining about it. I was holding my 4-month-old and my 2-year-old was in the other room, and I was complaining to my husband, and he said, well, does that mean you need to open your own bulk food store? And I said, I guess it does. And I really hope he wasn't joking, because it's too late now. But basically, I just created the grocery store that my family needed. So a store that aligns with our family values.
Awesome. I think that's great. And a perfect example of how daily thoughtfulness, or just taking that moment to be aware of what you're doing, can really have a huge impact, not only on ourselves as individuals, but on our community and then the planet as a whole. That is amazing. And so, Scoop, how does it work then? Do you have things in bins and people bring their own containers, or so how does this work? If somebody's like, okay, I think I can do this, what do they do?
Great question. I actually, sometimes when you're doing something and it's a habit, you forget the questions that you had at the beginning, when you were first getting introduced. So I just did a podcast episode on this on my podcast. It's called Green Stuff, the Scoop Intelligence Show. And it's already one of our most downloaded episodes. But basically, a zero waste store in general, you're going to go in and they're going to have some kind of bulk containers. So we are getting these bulk products in large containers. Some of them are reusable, like a big 5-gallon bucket that maybe we can send back to the company and they'll refill it with more detergent for the next time. But then other times with food, it might come in a paper bag. So it's something that we can recycle, but maybe we get like 50 pounds of flour and then we put it into a bulk container at our store. And then you can bring your own clean, dry containers. And it doesn't really matter, if it's like a plastic yogurt tub or if it's a glass jar, we're pretty flexible in regards to that. And then we also have containers on site as well. So containers available for purchase. Sometimes we have containers that have been donated by the community and that are, that we've cleaned and are ready to be used. And then we actually kind of changed our model last year and shifted to, instead of having self-serve, our team scoops all of the bulk goods for you. We just thought that that was a really great way
Yeah.
to have everyone feel safe about the situation. It allows us to control the sanitary situation, but it also helps us to maintain control over, potential cross contamination between scoops and products and funnels and things like that. So
Sure.
you just let us know, what you need and how much. And we one of the great things about buying in bulk is you really should only get what you need or what you will really use and what will serve you. A lot of times if we're buying food in a plastic container, that predetermined quantity may not serve us well. Like if you
Right.
buy the romaine lettuce from the very big store in Kirkland with the big portions of things,
I
like
love that you won't even say their name.
nobody nobody can, well, no, some families, some households maybe, but most of us are not going to eat 6 heads of romaine before it's going to go bad, right? So maybe you eat 3 or 4 of them, and then maybe the other ones get slimy, and then maybe you throw them away in the plastic bag and it goes into the landfill and contributes to, greenhouse gases and everything like that. But when you're shopping in bulk and when you're buying package free, even in the conventional store, you get to choose. So hopefully that should minimize the food waste, which saves money on your part
Mhm.
and is better for the planet. So that's how we do it, and it's also a great way to try something new. So if you're not sure about the new laundry detergent, if because sometimes when you make a change like that, it can have an impact, or if you have sensitive skin and you want to be careful,
Right.
we have measuring cups and measuring spoons, and you can buy just enough to run 2 loads, or whatever amount you need. Or if there's a new kind of tea and you're not really sure, just get a tablespoon, just get enough for one brew, 1 cup of tea. So it's a fun way to shop, and it can actually, it can end up saving money in the long run, just from the food waste aspect, but also because packaging is expensive as well.
And that, yeah, I love all of that. That makes a lot of sense. I love that it can make you, I think you're right, like a little bit more of an adventurous shopper of, okay, well, I'll try this. I don't have to commit to the whole thing.
Right. Or if you
I
need
think,
like a special ingredient, like if a recipe
right.
calls for a teaspoon of cardamom, and the spice jar of cardamom is expensive if you just buy it
Yes.
at the store, and it'll probably go bad. It'll probably lose its flavor because you don't use it that often, maybe whatever special ingredient.
Yeah.
But we have teaspoons. You can literally just buy a teaspoon if that's what your recipe calls for.
That's amazing. Well, and like you said, I was thinking about that as well as you were chatting. I mean, you end up getting actually fresher food because you're able to just buy what you need. That is something, this is, will probably make your skin crawl, but I go to the grocery store almost daily. So I'm sure there's a lot of waste in there, but I do rationalize that, I'm fortunate it's close, it's just right down the street, but I just buy in small quantities. So while there's probably lots of packaging waste there, we don't have a ton of food waste in our house because I'm just buying for, like the next day or two versus
Yeah.
I know when I grew up, my mom would buy like a week or 2 weeks worth of groceries. Our lifestyle is also a little different than it was when I was a kid, right? Of, I don't know 3 days from now if we're even going to be home for dinner. Who knows what's happening with the
Yeah.
kids' sports schedule. So to be able to buy in smaller quantities, but baking, things like that, I think people don't realize things like flour, even a lot of the dry goods that you feel like, oh, you can buy them and just pop them in your pantry. And, they're kind of good indefinitely. Well, first of all, I don't know about you, but during COVID, I know I cleaned out my pantry
Yeah.
and found the things that expired in like 2015.
Hmm.
So they do expire. And I don't even know if I want to eat a 6-year-old jar of tomato or can of tomatoes or something like that.
Yeah.
So, to be able to just do the smaller quantities, it also means you're feeding yourself and your family fresher foods on a lot of
Yeah.
levels.
Well, and I love that mentality. There are so many places around the world where that's how you buy your food, is going to the market and getting it
Mhm.
fresh daily. And that's what I want Scoop to be. I want it to be the neighborhood grocery store. And especially, the people who are living in the apartments right above us or right in the neighborhood, I want them to be popping in and getting just enough spaghetti for tonight and a couple tomatoes and a few basil leaves and a loaf of bread, because that's all they need for their dinner. That's what I want it
Yeah,
to become.
that's awesome. So let's talk about that. Where are you located?
Yeah, so we are in Juanita Village. So we're right by Bala Yoga, and it's a great little spot. You can, walk across the street to the beach, which I definitely grew up playing there. It's kind of a special place. It's been fun to take my kids. So, and
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that, we'll be back to concerts in the park and farmers markets and things like that. And it's a really just exciting place to be. So it's been a great move for us. We started in the Seattle area, and parking was a little tricky. And now it just makes people so much easier to come and find us and shop with us. So we are under construction right now. When Nicole and I scheduled this, it was going to be perfect timing because our store would have just, reopened with our new kitchen. And we have met delay after delay, mostly with permits with the city. Unfortunately, I know that they're really under a lot of pressure with limited staff and limited services over the past year. So those challenges were completely unforeseen, even when I thought I gave myself a buffer, and it's blown way past my buffer, just like out of control.
Darn it.
But we have been open this whole time. So we've got all kinds of bulk home goods and personal care products. So whether you're looking for powdered detergents or liquid dish soap, or you want to, get sunscreen in your own container or bug spray or something like that, if you've got a little spray bottle that you want to keep filling up, or hand sanitizer, we have all of those kinds of things. And then we've got really great reusable lifestyle products to support sustainable living. So, in taking time to just find the products that are really going to add value to your life, and investing in those reusable items that you can kind of have some pride of ownership and really enjoy them. So for example, if you bought a safety razor when you were at Scoop, it's one of those things where it's an investment up front, but if you were to add up all of the plastic razors that you would go through in your lifetime, like this one beautiful razor should last you forever, and you just keep replacing the blades. And so it's just kind of a different way to approach our lifestyle. And like I said, that like pride of ownership, really enjoying this special possession instead of it being a pink plastic razor that gets thrown away every couple months or whatever that looks like. So it's actually, we're having a lot of fun right now. We're adding new products to the store every week, just kind of like ramping up to our kitchen being open later this summer. So we can't do any bulk food right now unless if you are a member. So we do have a membership available, and our members have access to our large quantity bulk ordering. And this is actually how I shop. So because we don't have our kitchen construction completed yet, we can't open the large bulk bags and scoop them out for you. We have to wait until we're fully permitted and everything. But if you're a member, you can place a large quantity bulk order, which would mean, a 25-pound bag of rice, if that's something that your household goes through a lot of, or a 5-pound bag of cashews. That's something that we eat a ton of at our house. We also buy a 25-pound bag of black beans. We like to get a half gallon of maple syrup and a half gallon of tamari. So there's a lot of those kinds of products that we can just order for you directly from our vendor. And then we place those orders on a monthly basis. So we do have a lot of our members in the Scoop community who are still able to get food with us even while our kitchen is under construction right now.
Awesome. Cool. Such a cool concept. I just love this. If you are just tuning in, we have Stephanie Lentz on the show with us today, the owner of Scoop Market in Kirkland. So cool. All about zero waste, but also really good quality natural foods. But also you were talking about all of the other products that you have, kind of household, skincare, all of that type of thing. What are some of because I was on your site this morning and you have like toothpaste tabs, or it's awesome. It's like mind blowing, all of these different ways to get your products. What are some of the fun things that you have that people might not realize are even out there and available for them?
Yeah, well, and that's been really fun for us, just doing that research and trying out these products and exploring them. But honestly, one of my favorite things is getting to highlight local makers. So a lot of the really cool products on our shelves come from right here in the Pacific Northwest. And so just, having this opportunity to share our shelf space and our community with them has been incredible. So our tooth tabs, if you've never used one before, basically it's a small little, I'm trying to think of like what size to describe it as, maybe like a mini M&M. If you've ever seen like the really tiny M&Ms, it's kind of maybe a little bit bigger than that. But basically you just crush it up between your teeth and then get your toothbrush wet and brush like normal. And it is really neat how it works. They're really fresh and awesome. And then that same company, they're out of Oregon. They also make mouthwash tabs. I don't know, my brain always gets mixed up with those mouthwash tabs. So with that, you just take a little cup, like however much mouthwash you would normally use, like a shot glass or maybe something like that. Just fill it with water and then drop the little tab in, and it does its thing and turns into mouthwash. And so those kinds of things are really cool because we've got the bulk stock. If you want to just try, literally, if you want to just try one, we will sell you just one. It's a great way to just kind of explore the new product. But with those things, we also, we do want to highlight the maker, and we want to let you know whose brand it is and who's creating it and who else is contributing to building this sustainable future. So we also have those available in little jars that have their information, so that if you wanted to learn more about the product, you've got that right there. And then you can just come back and refill it from our bulk stock later. So
I don't know. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah.
I just think that's so cool for two reasons. One, I do love to travel. And I just think if you could throw a bunch of these little pellets or tablets, whatever they are, in a little bag, that's so easy to travel with.
It is.
It's like one of my quirks. I have to brush my teeth a lot when I travel, especially now when you wear a mask on an airplane for a couple hours, you need to brush teeth.
So what I do
to be able to do that, not have to worry about the tube, and if you've got the travel size when you're heading out of town.
Yeah, so I had one of those tiny little essential oil bottles. It was like a 5 milliliter one or something.
Sure.
And it was peppermint, and I had washed it out, but it still was like kind of pepperminty. So once it was dry, that's what I use when I'm traveling to put my tooth tabs in. So it's just this tiny thing. It, fits perfectly into my travel bag. And it's kind of the same thing with our shampoo bars. So the woman who makes our shampoo bars, she's in Tacoma, and she delivers our bars for us. So she does shampoo bars for several different hair types, but she also makes our dish soap bars too, which is you just like scrub the dish brush on the bar and then wash your dishes that way. So that's a really cool product. But what I love, I love the shampoo bar in general. It works really well for me. But when it comes to travel, I love not having to take any liquids and just not even having to worry about, the clear bag and separating it and making it visible and blah, blah, blah. All of my stuff it's the bars, soap bars, shampoo bars, and then the tabs. It makes it really simple.
I love it. Yeah, it's the liquids when you travel. And then I always, knock on wood, it's never happened. But, I have the visions of with the change in air pressure, like something explodes all over your luggage.
Yes.
I'm just like, So if you could take that out. And then, I'm the mom of teenagers and I love my boys with all my heart. But oh my goodness, the toothpaste where they squeeze it in the middle and it's a mess. So I'm thinking some toothpaste tabs could be in their future.
Yeah,
to make everybody happier.
Like camping too, if people are, trying to plan for that as well. Yeah.
There you go.
But I mean, there's so many amazing products in there. I feel like even right now, I mentioned we're getting new products in as we're like working up towards our kitchen reopening. And I feel like I walk in, I'm like, oh, I didn't know we were getting this in. This is so cool. We've got these new, I think they're little grains, but it's to make an all-purpose cleaner. So it's like really concentrated dry grains, and then you mix it with water to make an all-purpose cleaner for your home. And just fun stuff like that all the time.
Perfect. So can people come into the store right now if they want to check all this stuff out?
Yeah, definitely. We still have limited operating hours, partly because of our construction and partly just because since we aren't doing food, we just haven't been as busy. Actually, we've had people asking, when are you going to increase your hours? And on my podcast, I said, when you shop with us more, when you come buy things so that I can pay my team, then I will increase my hours. But we're open right now, Thursday and Friday from noon to 4. And then Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 4. But you can also shop online and place your order for pickup, or we do have carbon neutral shipping available as well. So if you just go to scoopmarketplace.com, actually, we have a discount code for you if you want to use 425 show. You can get a discount. If you're shopping in the store, just mention it, or you can enter it in on scoopmarketplace.com when you check out.
I love it. Okay. Seriously, this is such an amazing concept. If you are out there, I highly encourage you to go check out Scoop. You can shop online. I was on their website this morning. It's super easy to shop online. But I really think going into the store is the way to go, because I think for a lot of people, like you were saying, and for me included, it's just wrapping your head around. There's different options out there, right? I'm used to the toothpaste in the tube. Never occurred to me that you could do a little tab. Makes sense, but Never would have thought about that. And so, and I love that, these products are just, they're cleaner, right? There's lots of press out there now about, a lot of the cleaning products we use in our homes are kind of toxic. And, even self-care products, shampoo, toothpaste included, sometimes can have some things in there that really aren't that helpful for A, our bodies, and then B, the environment. So to be able to go get really great alternatives and to be able to try them in smaller quantities in the beginning so that you don't have to commit to this big bulk order and or a super expensive dollar amount of something that, may or may not be your jam at the end of the day, I think is great. I love the way you have this set up.
Yeah, exactly. And our mission is to teach people how they can improve the quality of their lives while they're learning to walk more gently on the planet. So you should enjoy this. These products should add value. They should make things simpler. They should make your routine more enjoyable. And absolutely, they should definitely contribute to your personal health as well. There's a lot that we aren't aware of, and we do a lot of research on our products and on our vendors to make sure that it's in alignment with our values, because we want our community to know that if their values align with ours, they can shop with us knowing, feeling very confident that we've done the work. They don't have to go around and research everything on our shelves because we've already put a lot of time into it. That's the service that we provide. And education is go out. Beware the 6-year-old raging down the hallway.
That's all right. It's your inspiration for Scoop Market. It's only fitting that they would join the show.
That's right. Oh my word. Daddy just got home
close to the end.
I know, right? But I was just gonna say, we really, really value education. And so I agree with you, Nicole. I think coming into the store is the right thing to do, because our team will just be so excited to talk with you. And I know we had someone just come in the other day who had just read a book on zero waste, and she was just ready to go. She was like, show me, what do I need to do? Yeah. How do I start this? What kinds of things are actually going to help me, and what kinds of things are just totally unnecessary right now? And we love talking you through that. We don't call our team members sales associates. We are product educators, and we want to make sure that you have the products that are actually going to meet your needs. So
I think it's amazing. Thank you for being a resource for all of us and for doing the legwork, because I think a lot of us read about these things and think, oh, that would be nice. And then we think, oh, well, I don't know how to figure that out. And off we go on our merry way.
Right.
So I super appreciate people like you, because you do the research and then you make it accessible for the rest of us. And that's a really big thing. So again, if you've just joined the show, we have Stephanie Lentz on the show with us today, the owner of Scoop Market in Kirkland. Just a phenomenal place, a fantastic resource for zero waste living, but also just a more natural way of living with the different products that you carry. You've got food, you've got cleaning products, personal care products, all kinds of amazing things. Yeah. So what are your top 3 things in the store? If somebody popped in today and thought, I want to check this out, what are 3 things that they should be sure to look at? I know it varies per person, but
you would think I should be very well prepared for that question. As far as products that we use in our house on a regular basis, I love our Nellie's powdered detergent. So I use their dishwashing detergent and their laundry detergent every day. Our reusable menstrual products are fantastic. I've researched a lot. I've tried a lot of different brands, and we've got the really, really awesome ones. So that's definitely a good thing to check out. We have pads, we have period undies, and we have menstrual cups as well. And then let's see, one more, so many good things in there. I know we aren't doing this right now, but we have bulk loose leaf tea when we've got all of our food stuff happening. And I just like being able to have so much variety and to be able to try out just little amounts. Cause I feel like otherwise, you have to go through the whole jar of something, and this way you get to just have some nice variety in your tea cupboard. So that was one of the things that I started out with when we started, and I hardly had anything in the store. I had 20 kinds of tea. I didn't have really anything else, but I had like 20 kinds of tea. So that's definitely something that's important to me too.
I love it. I'm a tea person, so you're speaking my language. Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. We will have the links to the market and your podcast that you mentioned, everything else on the website after the show, NicoleMangina.com. scoopmarket.com/podcast. Thank you, Stephanie, for joining us. Everybody be sure to check out Scoop Market. You'll be super glad you did. Take care, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Thank
Bye.
you.
All right, I'll